Hello. It's that time of year again when we start to think about backing up the documents and materials that we've collected over the course of the year on our computer devices, so that when we return in the fall, we'll still have access to everything that we need. The method that you use for backing up your materials will depend on the type and number of documents that you have. For example, if you're the type of person that has some word processing documents and a few photos or PDF files that you've downloaded that you'll probably want to back up and have available to you next year, you'll want to use Google Drive for backing up those materials, or possibly even your own private USB thumb drive. But if you're somebody who um, has a lot of their iTunes music, or you've got videos and hundreds of pictures and images that you have, as well as a bunch of documents or maybe some applications, you're really maxing out the amount of hard drive space that you have, then you're probably going to want to invest in an external hard drive and then use Time Machine, which is already installed on the device, to back up everything that's on the laptop. But for this particular video, we're going to focus on using Google Drive for backing up your files and materials that you'll want to have access to next school year. So let's get started. You should start by creating a backup folder on your desktop that will contain everything that you want to upload to Google Drive. What I'm going to do is, on my Finder on my desktop, I'm going to go to File and select New Folder. And you'll notice over here I've got Untitled Folder. Right away it's already highlighted, so I'm going to just start typing and I'm going to name this Backup Folder. And then I'm going to double click it open. So I have this window open. Next, I want another window that's open so that I can take all of the materials that I want to back up and drag them into this folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click my hard drive icon, or I could go back to Finder and do New Finder window. Either way, I've got two. I'm going to resize that so it's not quite so large. And what I am looking at right away, you're going to notice, is my home directory. That's the one that has the little house there and then my username. This has the folders that I am most likely going to find the materials that I want to back up. Applications, I am probably not going to back this up because, first of all, either my new laptop or my newly re-imaged laptop is going to already have applications that I use. If I did have other applications that I downloaded and installed from the internet, I could back those up, but if I did so, I would do that with an external hard drive or possibly with a thumb drive. I probably would not put those applications in my Google Drive. Where I'm going to find the stuff that is most important to me is probably my Documents folder. So I'm going to double click that open. And I am going to find some documents that I want to back up for next year. And I'm simply going to click on them and drag them over to my backup folder that's over here on the left side. So I'm going to scroll to the top here, and I've got a folder called Beginning of the Year, containing things that I might want to have at the beginning of the year. And then I've got some other folders as well. So I'm going to take those and just drag them over. All right, and that's how simple it is. I'm going to just go through my entire Documents folder and either drag in entire folders, or I can drag over just individual documents. Okay, now going back here to my home directory, I might have things, maybe I have a couple of short videos. I don't see anything right there in my movies folder. My music, I am may have created something in GarageBand that I might want, so I could take that and drag that over. But if I've got, like thousands of songs in my iTunes, I am not going to bother taking that because, that's going to take up a lot of space. And I would use an external hard drive for backing that material up. Okay, going back here, pictures, I might have some individual photos, but for the most part, they're in your photo library, and probably the size of that is too large to back up as well. You might also want to consider a tool called Google Photos Backup. And this will actually back up some photos from all of your devices, which is kind of cool. Works with your phone images as well. So you might want to like YouTube a tutorial on using Google Photos Backup. All right, I'm going back to my home directory. So let's say this is everything I want to back up as far as my documents are concerned. One other thing that people might want to consider doing as well is saving their bookmarks from their browsers. Now, if you're using Google Chrome, if that's your browser of choice, there's really no need to back up your bookmarks because you can simply log in as you into Google Chrome and all of your bookmarks follow you. It's a beautiful thing. But that's not necessarily true with the same with Safari or Firefox. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by going to Safari, and I'm going to open that up. And for Safari, I'm going to click on the File menu, and you'll notice Export Bookmarks is right there on that menu. I'm going to select that by clicking it. It's going to have a dialog box where the document is called Safari Bookmarks, and I am going to click on my desktop so that I can then select my backup folder as the destination for that. And I click Save, and I am done. Okay, it's going to be there in my folder. I'll quit out of Safari, and I should have a Safari Bookmarks file right there in my backup folder. Now I'm going to open up my Firefox, and here it's done a little bit differently. I'm going to go to Bookmarks, the Bookmarks menu, and select Show All Bookmarks. Then I'm going to go to this little icon right here that's called Import and Backup Your Bookmarks, and I'm going to do Export Bookmarks to HTML. I get another little dialog box, and it's basically asking me what do I want to call it and where do I want to save it to. So I'm going to put the letters FF for Firefox in front of the bookmarks.html that's already there. And instead of saving it in my Documents folder, I'm going to save it to my backup folder that I just created. I'm going to click Save, and then I'm going to quit out of Firefox. And you'll notice now I've got another HTML document called ffbookmarks.html. So now I'm ready to get started. I am ready to back up my stuff to Google Drive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my browser of choice. I like to use So I'm going to open up Chrome, which is my browser of choice. And I happen to have my Google Drive already bookmarked. I've got a little icon right here. But let's say I didn't. Let's say the middle school site is my home page for Chrome. If I'm at the school site, then I can go to the Staff drop-down menu and select MSAD 75 Google Drive. It might ask you to actually type in your password, but I already happen to be logged in. And so here is my Google Drive. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that reddish orange New button, and I'm going to select folder upload. Okay, now there's a difference between a file and a folder. A file is just considered, say, like one document, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my entire backup folder. So I'm going to click folder upload. I'm looking at my desktop folder, and so I'm going to select backup folder and then click upload. And it's going to show me how long this is going to take. I actually have 609 different files in that backup folder. This will all depend. The amount of time that it takes depends on the size and number of documents that you have that you're backing up. And eventually, you'll see already it has backup folder right there on my Google Drive listed as a folder. But it's going to take about 2 minutes for this to actually complete the upload process. Another thing you'll notice too, once this is all done, right now it's saying 9 gigabytes used. That's what I had before I backed this up. So I might have, that number is probably going to change once my 2 minutes go up. So I'm going to hit pause on my little screenshot here, and I will pick up once this is done. All right, so you'll notice now that it is completed, one upload complete. 609 out of 609 files have been uploaded. I can even locate this in my drive by clicking the little magnifying glass, although I can see it right here on the side, right here. All right, so this has been backing up using Google Drive.